Hi, I'm Aaron.
I'm John Bingham.
Welcome to Movie Night. Our first movie we'll be watching, Baby Driver.
Dun dun dun.
Alright, this is our first episode. This is with Eastern Progress Media Network at EKU, and we are going to do movie reviews every week. And so our first movie is going to be Baby Driver.
Oh yeah, this movie, fantastic.
It's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it came out in 2017.
Directed by
Edgar Wright.
There you go.
Love that guy. Love Edgar
If
Wright.
you're wondering, I'm eating some Gushers from the vending machine. So, is that water for me? Can I have some? Can I have a water?
You can have a water.
Thank you. So,
Oh gosh.
yeah.
Gotta come stacked with the water.
I didn't come prepared. I just brought my phone and something to save the podcast on. So, stay hydrated, Kings. Okay. Movie, Baby Driver, 2017, Edgar Wright. It is about a guy who is a getaway driver for people that rob banks or do crimes, and his name's Baby. So, hence the name, Baby Driver. And then, what else happens? How would you say it?
I mean, that's basically, I would say, a very good summary of the movie if we're
Yeah.
not trying to get into like any big spoilers or anything. Right,
Yeah.
straight out of the gun.
Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. But it goes throughout the movie of him doing different crimes with different groups, and there's some famous actors in it. Some good ones, some really bad canceled ones, but we'll get into that when we talk about more spoilers. But immediate thoughts of the movie when you first saw it before we do spoilers.
So, rewatching this movie for this podcast episode, this was like my 6th or 7th time watching it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Baby Driver. More Edgar Wright than Baby Driver, but if you liked Baby Driver, you'll like his other movies. But this movie, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I thought the filmmaking was superb. You could see like all the inspirations he pulled from, and he just made a really, really good action movie.
It is a really good action movie. Like the driving in it, it's up there with like some of the best driving I've ever seen in a movie.
It's just the opening scene.
The opening scene is really good. We'll talk about more about that when we get to
gosh.
spoilers. But my immediate thoughts, the first time I ever watched it was during COVID with my family. I swear during COVID we watched every single movie on the planet because we had nothing else to do. We would watch a different movie every night. So we watched this the first time, and I was like, oh, I've seen clips of this on TikTok. It'll be pretty good. I know they talked about it in The Big Bang Theory, and
Gosh.
that was the first time I watched it. But, like, after watching it, that's a top 10 film for me of all time.
It is definitely up there for me. And the funny thing about it is when it came out, it really wasn't super popular.
Yeah, like box office score that I've seen for this wasn't that good.
Yeah, no, like it kind of made me sad. But I sadly did not get to watch it in theaters. I wish I could have, but
I didn't. Let me look up the box office returns on this, and we'll look at some critic reviews.
I just think it's like Edgar Wright, like I don't know, he's one of those directors who has, it's like I've never watched one of his movies in theaters, but I've heard it's like he's very much like he makes the theater experience worth it. So I would encourage you, as I am, his next movie, go see it in a theater.
What is his next movie, John?
I do not know. I don't think he's announced it yet.
So to talk about some box office, it made $226.9 million worldwide, including $107 million in the United States and Canada, and it was the 42nd highest-grossing film of 2017. So, and the budget was only $34 million. So, like, it did good, but like, I don't know. We're in an age where we're used to big budget blockbuster films like Marvel and Star Wars, where like nothing's good unless it makes over $500 million. That I don't know. That's what I learned when I was in high school. I know it's not true now, being a film major, but I've learned that. And when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, that's so small," but $226 million. No, that's a lot. But to go over to some reviews, on Rotten Tomatoes, it was ranked at 92% from the critics and 86% from fan. What do you think about that?
I'm kind of surprised that the audience score isn't a little bit higher, to be honest with you.
It's a very like interactive movie, and I'll talk more about that with trivia. But the thing that it said, the top critic thing, it says critic consensus is stylish, exciting, and fueled by a killer soundtrack. Baby Driver hits the road and it's gone, proving fast-paced action movies can be smartly written without sacrificing thrills.
I mean, that basically encapsulates it. That's why they're paid.
That's you want to get into some plot?
Oh yeah, we can.
We were talking about the opening scene earlier. So it opens up. You don't know anything yet. It's our main character, Baby, and I'm blanking on names, but there's John Bernthal and John Hamm, and who's the woman?
I'm not sure of the actress's name, to be 100% honest.
Look up the cast.
Oh,
I feel really bad now.
I do too.
But
she's excellent in it, though.
Oh yeah, she's good.
I absolutely love her.
So it opens up with them doing a heist, robbing a bank, and hang on, where is it? Is it Darling? Is that who the person is at the beginning?
Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah, it's Ieza Gonzalez. I don't know how to say her name. I'm sorry. But it opens up, the robbing bank, and Baby, our getaway driver, sitting in the car. And his main thing is he listens to the music whenever he does it, and everything in this movie is about the music. Like, it's very synced up. It's timed. You can see that with background things. Like, with his directions, it matches when he turns the car, it goes with the beats of the song. But it opens up, and he's listening to music, jamming out, just going back and forth, dancing in the car. And then the actual bank robbers get in the car. They're like, "Baby!" And they're like, "Hang on, I got to start my music." And on his iPod. And so then they're driving, and then I studied this scene in a class with Cogdell for film techniques.
Yep.
And it took, how long did it take? Like, it took forever for them to film it.
It took a while, and a big thing that they did that normally does not happen is they shut down a big part of downtown
shut down
Atlanta.
a freeway.
Yeah, they shut down a freeway. They shut down a big bunch of roads. And it's just, I don't know. That opening scene is just like one of the best opening scenes, in my opinion, to a movie. And it's cool because Edgar Wright had this idea for Baby Driver like 15 years ago. And he, in all his movies, he's kind of like implemented and like tried out stuff and like done this and done that. And so you can, if you go back through his filmography and like watch his movies, you can see even in like his first project he worked on, there is a scene with a guy in a car jamming out, flipping up the windshield wipers. And it's just, I think it's so cool that he's had this idea for 15 years and then he finally builds his way up to it and makes it perfect. I just punched the mic.
But, like, to continue more about the scene, it's them running away from the cops, and it's a whole city-wide chase. Like, they have at least 15 cop cars. They get helicopters in on them. Like, they throw the little, what do they call where the tire spikes? They throw those, and he dodges them, and then the cop cars hit him. So.
Well, see, I saw a quote, and, I didn't see a quote. I heard a quote from a guy on YouTube. And he said, "Baby is a good driver."
Really?
But they
should make a movie about that.
But he is such a good driver that he can knock the tire strips into other cars.
Yeah.
It's like he is on a different level, and
like he is driving backwards. He's playing maneuvers to dodge the cops. Like my favorite one is when they're on the actual freeway, and he has a red car. I don't remember the exact car model, but
it's a Subaru something.
Yeah, and they're driving on the freeway, and he sees two identical of his car, like driving beside each other. I was like, oh, this is how I'll get away. So they go under a bridge, and so obviously the helicopter can't follow him. So they just go over, like they'll wait for him to get out, and he switches positions with one of the cars to make the cops think that that's him, and then he's able to get off on the exit, and they keep following. It's genius.
It's so brilliant. It's just like we can get like all the information we need to know really about Baby. For basically the entire movie, there's some things that are left out with like some of the other
like
stuff.
Personal stuff like family and plot.
Yeah, but like we get his characteristics and like who he is as a character. I would even argue we get to see at the beginning that he's maybe not really wanting to do all this. Like
it obviously goes throughout the movie that like, oh, we see some things he doesn't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But He's doing this. He's getting money. He's getting paid a lot because he's the best driver for all these getaway situations in the crime organization. So then afterwards, they go back to their home base, and we meet this really good actor who's never had any problems in the media. Kevin Spacey. You might have heard of him.
Oh my goodness!
But he's the guy in charge of everything. He's the big boss, and they get all their cuts. He plays a character named Doc, but John Bernthal and Isa Gonzalez and John Hamm all get their cuts, and who is it that does it? Is it John Bernthal that goes over, takes the headphone and is like, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah, he starts questioning Baby because up until this part, he has not said one word. Baby hasn't. He's been, as John Bernthal so delicately puts it, is he a mute?
Yeah, we don't hear him speak. Like, we see him mouth the words to the song while he's driving. But, like, he takes out his headphone, he messes with them, and Kevin Spacey's character stands up for him. So does John Hamm, ironically, which we'll come back to talk about that later. But, okay, you want to... They go to the diner. Is the diner next? This is the first time they go to the diner?
Yes, he meets Deborah.
So Deborah's our main love interest for this movie.
Baby, baby.
You want to talk about it?
I can. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Happy Valentine's Day.
Speaking of love.
Yeah. So Baby goes to this diner. It is assumed that this might not be his first time at the diner, but that the lady is new. She says that whenever she approaches him. She's like, "Oh, I'm new here." She has a name tag that says Bob, which I think is hilarious. But it really, the thing that really showcased in this scene that I think is important is that it shows, one, that Baby is like head over heels with Deborah, and two, it shows him that he's a sampler.
Yeah.
If you noticed, and everything he says to her is something that was heard.
Like a snippet from a song.
Yeah, like he says, "You are so beautiful," like Alfalfa.
Yeah.
And the Little Rascals. And it's just, he really goes to that, I feel like, whenever he doesn't know what to say. And so I just thought that was like a nice little nod to him being nervous and being in love and meeting for the first time. And I don't know. I really like that scene the first time they meet.
We forgot to say earlier why Baby's doing this. Why he's working in this crime organization. So he tried to steal Kevin Spacey's character's car, and he's a kingpin mob boss. So in repayment, he's having to do getaway driving stuff for Kevin Spacey. That's pretty important later, I'd say. And the car had some illicit goods, as this plot summary I have pulled up says.
Is the amount he owes him ever mentioned?
I don't think so.
It has to be quite
If
a
not,
bit.
I'll just put it on the screen whenever I edit it. But
Because he, it's like every time they do a heist, and after the first one, it's very easily said, like very explicitly said, that Baby has done multiple heists for Doc.
He's been doing it for a few years, I think, right?
Yeah, and so that's my question: is like, how much money did he owe this guy?
Yeah, I know. So we see in his free time he remixes snippets and recorded conversations and cares for his deaf father, Joseph. So that'll come up later. But
I love Joseph.
Joseph is pretty good.
I love Joseph.
So our next getaway scene is where we meet, I think, the best performance in the film.
That's a brave statement. There's a lot of great performances in this movie, but he does a very good job.
It's Jamie Foxx, Bats, and they have to do another bank robbery. And something that I think is really funny is, so every time they have different code names and do different outfits to match the thing to go to the plan exactly. And sorry, I lost my spot. But they say they're going to do Mike Myers, like Halloween, for the thing.
A Michael Myers Halloween mask.
Yeah. And if you don't know, Mike Myers is also a famous comedian on SNL and famous for playing Shrek. So the guy who had to get all the masks got Mike Myers from Shrek masks and crap. What's it called? Something Powers.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. I about said Andy Powers. Wait, Abby Powers.
Oh, gosh.
Podcasting co-director. Shout out.
Shout out.
I don't know where she is right now, but they go to do this again, and Baby's still with the music, but this time his music, like, he wouldn't play. Something was messed up with it.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was he started it, and then they had a conversation that threw it out of sync.
Yeah.
And then he was like, wait. He's like, I have to go back. And then he makes him wait again until he restarts the song and the beat picks back up. And then he makes him go. Which is, I feel that. I'm also an OCD guy.
Like, even, I'm a very superstitious person. So, like, Celtics games, when
Oh, here we go. The Celtics.
Before we won the
You do not know. Aaron Jones is a Celtics fan.
As I'm wearing a Celtics hat. Oh, yeah, we don't have a camera right now because the computer's broke. So when I edit this, it's just going to be a picture of us on screen. But we'll have our camera ready, and we'll have some cool background sets for...
Little side bit you could probably edit out, but I am taking a Photoshop class right now.
I'm taking that next semester.
I could probably make us a little logo.
Sick nasty.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, it gets a rock. Oh, what I was saying, Celtics games... I used to listen to 3 songs back to back to back. First thing I listened to in the morning on the way to class, it was Welcome to the Jungle, Thunderstruck, and then Red Wine Supernova by Chappell Roan. So in that order, they get me pumped up, ready for game day. But
surprised it wasn't Pink Pony Club.
Pink Pony Club. I don't do it much anymore because we won the championship, and I hope we go back to back. But okay, back to the actual movie. He paid his debt, and Baby quits his life of crime. Tries to, and he gets a job delivering pizzas.
Oh, that was I love that little bit of comedy they put there. He was the pizza delivery guy, and then he shows up to the frat house, and the frat people are like, wow, that was really fast. Just love that.
So, Baby also, he takes Deborah out on a date to a fancy restaurant where he runs into
dun, dun, dun.
Kevin Spacey's character, Doc, who pays for their meal.
I thought you were just going to say Kevin Spacey. That's scary enough.
I think that's even scarier. So, like, this was his last movie before all the allegations came out from him.
This is probably going to be his last movie ever.
He's coming back, I think. He did a bunch of stuff to, like, rehab. I don't know what it is.
I have no clue, to be honest.
But I've heard he's coming back. This was his last movie. Could be his last ever. But
I don't know. The only thing, to be honest with you, I knew Kevin Spacey from before Baby Driver was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. He was the main villain in that game. And that was my only experience with Kevin Spacey. I'm glad I have that on record now. But no, yeah, so a very big thing with the last interaction with Doc that Baby has before this restaurant scene is Baby says, I'm done. And he's like, you're squared away. He never tells him he's done.
Yeah, he says your debt's paid.
Yeah, he never says, like, yeah, you're done robbing and stuff. And so then at this restaurant scene, he kind of hits Baby out of the blue because Baby thinks he's out of it. He thinks he's done. And then he's like, hey, be expecting the call. He's like, here's this phone. You're going to be working soon. And then Baby and him getting this little cute squabble. And then Doc says, like, that's a very cute girlfriend or something. Let's keep it like that. Starts threatening Deborah. And we can definitely come back to this. We're definitely going to have to come back to this later. But I feel like part of the reason he's trying to keep Baby, like, around and not in this program, but robbing banks and stuff for Doc, is because Doc kind of sees him as like he needs to protect him a little bit.
Yeah,
that's his way of protecting him.
He's his baby to make a reference to
the way you said that. He's his baby.
I could be your huckleberry.
I'm your huckleberry.
Okay, so yeah, like you said, he's threatening Deborah, and then that crew we said earlier, with Jamie Foxx's character and Darling and John Hamm's character, they do the other bank robbery.
So
they go to purchase the guns and illegal arms. So That's with the code name The Butcher, who's selling the weapons. And Batch, Jamie Foxx's character, he knew the Butcher, and then all that their men were undercover cops, and then a whole gunfire breaks out, resulting in all the dealers being killed, and well, most of them. Afterwards, Bats and makes Baby stop at the diner, not knowing that that's where Deborah was, and unaware of Baby and Deborah's romance. Baby, aware of Bat's homicidal habits, as IMDb is saying, stops him from killing her to avoid paying.
So, to dissect that scene a little bit, when he walks into the diner, he gives Deborah this look and like shakes his head, like telling her like you don't know me, like you don't know me, like this is not the time. And I think it's really important because even after seeing that and some of the other stuff that happens in the movie later on, we'll get into, that she sticks there with him. Even, I think that's a very major red flag.
Yeah.
Walk in with a big bunch of shady people and he's telling her to act like she doesn't know him. That's a red flag, ladies. Don't hang out with a dude that does that. But in Deborah's case, it works out. It works out for her pretty good.
So, Kevin Spacey is furious that
I didn't hear banana.
Yeah, the code word I forgot about that. So
the code word to make sure the sale went good and everything was banana. And
yeah.
I think the arms dealer was supposed to call Doc and say banana.
Forgot about that.
I didn't hear banana.
So he was so mad that they were dirty cops on his payroll, and he decides to cancel the heist. But our main bank robbers and people they disagree. They want to go through with it, and Kevin Spacey's like, "Baby, this is all up to you." And Baby's like, "Let's do it. Let's go through with it." And then Baby tries to slip away late at night, hoping to take Deborah and leave, but he sees Buddy and Bats, who have discovered his recordings that he's made for his dad, and believes he is the police informant that was the rat for that heist they did to get their arms and stuff. And when they hear his mixtapes, when they and Doc hear his mixtapes, they are convinced of his innocence.
Well, see, I don't even think it's... Well, that's part of it. They listen to it and just see its songs and everything. Which is also a hilarious scene. But then another important thing happens that convinces John Bernthal and Kevin Spacey is that Baby, fights back.
Not John Bernthal, John Hamm.
John Hamm. John Bernthal was dead at this point. Bats killed him.
Yeah, Bats did kill him.
Bats did kill him. We forgot to mention that.
I forgot that.
But, John Hamm and Kevin Spacey's character, Baby, kind of fights back towards him, and I think it's funny. He only says stuff to him that was said about him. Like, he only repeats stuff that was said about him to them.
Yeah.
To convince them. And it's just another great scene of him being a sampler and pulling stuff from everything around him and putting it into his everyday situations and whatnot.
So they go through with the heist, and there's a certain scene coming up that just disgusted me. You probably know what it is, but Bats kills the security guard, and Baby didn't like that at all. And so Bats is telling them, drive away, get away from the heist they just did. And so Bats hits Baby, and in retaliation, Baby rams the car forward, and there's a construction thing, and there's a bunch of open rebarb, and it impales Jamie Foxx. It was in the face, or was it in the chest?
Yeah, I think it was in the chest and the neck. There's a bunch of rebar, and it just kind of went everywhere.
I was shocked when I saw that. Oh man.
Do you not do good with blood and stuff like that?
I'm not a big gore person. The blood didn't scare me or make me disgusted. It just shocked me. I didn't think he was gonna do that.
Jamie kept telling him to move, and he moved.
Also, side note, right before this, he says he hates Hotel California. Hotel California is one of my favorite songs of all time. And my sister was like, yes, I hate that song. But when we watched this, I was so mad at her because I love Hotel California, and then therefore I hated Jamie Foxx for a little bit because
For just a little bit?
I'll talk more about it in trivia, but there's a reason why Jamie Foxx and not his character.
Fair.
So, Buddy, John Hamm's character, is furious. Oh wait, no, hang on. So the three of them flew away on foot after Baby kills Bats, and so they're running away, and the police actually shoot John Hamm's wife in the movie, and Darlin, and Buddy's furious and blames Baby for her death, and now throughout this movie, John Hamm is trying to kill Baby and get revenge on him. But Baby steals a car and flees back to his apartment. And after he leaves his dad at an assistant living home with his heists earning, Baby rushes over to the diner for Deborah.
Real quick, I love that little note he left with Joseph at the assistant living home.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, I am deaf and I am all. It was like something like that. It's like, I am deaf, I am all alone. I can sign. Here's the money for me to live. It was something like that. Yeah. I was just like, oh. I was like, that's so sweet.
Oh.
Oh.
But they go back to the diner so Baby can take Deborah and they can get away together. But John Hamm, Buddy, is waiting. And there's a big fight. And Baby shoots Buddy and they flee. And with Deborah as police informants swarm the restaurant. What do you think of this scene between Baby versus Buddy?
Well, it's backed up by Barry White, so I automatically just love it. But no, that's a big part of that song. And see, Baby, throughout the movie, he's not really a fighter. He doesn't really.
He's the driver.
Yeah, he's the driver. He doesn't really get in any confrontations or anything. Like, he does verbally, but not like physically. And then I think the big thing in this scene is that, and John Hamm plays it good through the music, the song is Never, Never Gonna Give You Up. And then John Hamm goes into this monologue about how much Darling meant to him and how much he's going to make Baby pay for it. and he uses the song. He's like, I'm never, ever going to give you up.
Yeah.
I'm never, ever going to quit. And I think Baby realizes that he can't run away from this one, that he's actually going to have to fight. And so that's when he pulls out that pistol and shoots him right in the shoulder.
So Baby takes Deborah back to the safe house, going to talk to Kevin Spacey, be like, please, I need help. Buddy's after me. But when Doc sees Deborah, when he's consoling him, he goes for it. He's like, okay, fine, I'll help you. And then he gives him the cash and escape right out of the country to get away from all this and finally put this all behind him. But the three of them are confronted by the butcher's vengeful henchmen. That's what it says. Vengeful henchmen in the parking garage, but Doc kills them all to let Baby get out. But Buddy is not dead, surprise, surprise, and ambushes them with the stolen police car and kills Doc.
Yep. And another brutal death in this movie.
Like, I was ready for this one because I didn't know. The first one, I wasn't expecting that brutal, but this one is pretty bad. How did he die again?
He got ran over by a car once, and then Buddy put it in reverse and then backed over him, and we get to see the shot of him getting, like, crushed. It is horrific.
So, now they're chasing each other, and until Buddy has Baby at his ears, he shoots the gun besides Baby's ears, deafening him, well, temporarily disorienting him. But he gets really bad hearing loss, which is really sad. When this happened, my mouth went agape. I was shocked. I was so sad because all he had was his music. That's what kept him going.
Yeah, it was very sad. But I mean, again, it's like John Hamm said. He's like, I have to do it, baby. You took something.
Yeah.
You took something I love away from me.
So I'll take the one thing you love.
Yeah.
Bang!
And I thought he was going to shoot Deborah.
I thought that's what he's going to do.
I thought he was.
Well, there was the fake out because he had the gun raised at her, and then he's pointed it down beside his ears and shot beside his ears.
Yeah.
But with the distraction of all this, Deborah is able to hit Buddy with the crowbar, and then Baby shoots him in the leg, and Buddy falls to his death.
Dun, dun, dun.
I was so happy. But Oh, I felt so bad.
See, I had mixed feelings. I'm a big John Hamm fan. Have you ever watched Mad Men?
Yes. Yes.
Mad Men is very good. And I was happy to see him in such a... It's pretty complex role.
Yeah.
And I was...
Like at the beginning of the movie, you think he's just a heist guy. He's not even the main heist guy of the first heist.
Yeah, John Berthenol is.
Yeah, so...
And then when Bats gets introduced, Jamie Foxx's character, at least I thought the first time watching it that was like going to be the main villain. That was going to be the main bad guy. And so that was just made that shock of him getting killed like so much bigger. And so just like the secondary reveal of John Hamm being the bad guy, I thought was done so well.
It was really good. So, and then Baby and Deborah get away, but there's the police line, and Baby surrenders, but there's a trial, and Joseph and Deborah and others help testify as witnesses for Baby, and he's only sentenced to 25 years in prison with parole hearing after 5. So we time jump, and it's more like, it feels like a dream. Like the lighting changes, and because at the beginning of the movie they talk about how they want to get away in a certain car in the sunset, and like he has his 5 years, and they get into the car, and the song that is playing is Baby Driver by Simon and Garfunkel. So it's quite a storybook ending, and they drive off into the sunset happily ever after many deaths and robberies and crimes. But that's the movie. That's what happens. That's what happens when you become a getaway driver for a bunch of crime organization. Wait, no, that's what happens when you steal a car.
That's what happens when you steal a car. Don't steal, kids.
Don't steal.
Don't steal. Moral of the story. But no, the ending of the movie, real quick, I have kind of a hot take on it.
Mm?
I think it is a dream.
Oh.
I don't think him and Deborah end up. I think he's still in jail.
He's still in jail?
When we leave him.
It's very...
Miles. Sorry, we forgot to mention that.
Oh,
His
yeah.
name is revealed to be Miles.
Yeah, which is ironic because he drives miles and miles and miles. Did you not get that? Did you not think of that when you first heard it?
I did. I just wasn't gonna comment on it. That's like a cheesy dad joke.
But it's very sepia tone and just yellow, and it feels dreamlike because all throughout the movie they're driving somewhat modern cars. And at the very end they have like a, Flo from Cars. It's like her car, but I don't know what it's called. It's like turquoise and teal.
Pretty sure it's
convertible.
Just soft top Chevy Bel Air.
Okay. They just drive off into the sunset, happily ever after.
Over, like, through the rainbow, like, it's so picturesque. I'm telling you, he was sitting in that jail cell dreaming of that crap. He was not doing it.
So, you want to get into some trivia for the movie?
Sure.
I have it all pulled up. So, trivia number 1. Director Edgar Wright once parked a car in a parking garage, only to realize that, by complete coincidence, the car next to him had a stylized thing saying "Baby on Board" sign with Baby's actor Ansel Elgort.
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
His face taken from the film's poster, and Edgar Wright left a note on the car's windshield that read, "From the director of Baby Driver, I approve," complete with his signature. So,
I love Edgar Wright.
This is what I was talking about with you earlier. If you watch the movie with headphones, every time Baby wears just one earbud, you'll also hear his music in only that one ear. So, like, if you pull it up on your phone and you watch it, I didn't know. I knew that before watching the movie from Watch Mojo. I figured that out.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
So, next, the studio pressured Edgar Wright to cut the foot chase scene because the movie was starting to go over budget. Wright deferred a portion of his own directing fee to ensure that this scene was completed. Great decision.
Great decision.
Good job, Edgar Wright. And so I only got 2 more. So the Mike Myers mask joke was actually supposed to be the actual masks of Michael Myers from the Halloween movies, but the producers were unable to obtain the legal permission, and Edgar Wright then reached out to comedian Mike Myers about using a mask of his likeness, who thought the scene would be hilarious and gave his blessing to the film.
Nice.
This is ironic because the original Michael Myers masks in the Halloween movies were obtained without getting the proper permission. John Carpenter bought a mask of Captain Kirk, William Shatner from the original Star Trek show, and painted it white to give it a creepy look.
Yep.
So I thought that was funny. And then Joseph, the dad, was written as a deaf African-American man in his 80s, and C.J. Jones, the actor, was the only performer to audition who was actually deaf. Edgar Wright said, "I started auditioning other very good actors who were pretending to be deaf. It made me feel immediately uncomfortable."
I would say so.
Oh, there is some spoiler trivia if you want me to.
Read some off. We already gave enough spoilers.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
After the first bank robbery, Griff jokes, "If you don't see me again, it's because I'm dead." This character, despite being prominently listed in the credits, is never seen again in the film after his 5 minutes of screen time.
Because he is dead.
During the post office scene, the teller at the counter quotes Dolly Parton, "Everybody wants happiness, nobody wants pain, but you can't have a rainbow without a little rain. The final heist begins in the rain, and when Baby is released from prison, a rainbow is visible in the background."
Supposedly a release from prison. I'm telling you, it was a dream.
So, despite receiving top billing of this movie, John Bernthal only had 5 minutes of screen time.
I love John Bernthal. He's such a good actor.
Punisher.
Oh, the Punisher.
What's that movie goes, wait, no.
That's the Punisher.
Oh, that's the Punisher.
That's the Punisher.
I couldn't remember what that was from.
Pretty sure it's season 2 of the Punisher. If I'm not
Wait.
Wait. Have you ever watched The Bear?
No, I need to.
Oh, The Bear is so
Cousin.
good. Cousin. Chef.
That's all I know. I watched the Fantastic Four trailer, and when he's cooking, he's like, "This is good," and he goes, "Cousin."
Cousin. We need some loaves of garlic. Not because I think you're doing a bad job. Just needs that zip.
So, Edgar Wright said that the final scene where Baby gets out of jail was deliberately left ambiguous, and notice that neither Baby nor Deborah remains visibly aged, as to leave to the audience interpretation of whether he's really got paroled or it is what, as the teller said about the rainbow, turns out correct. Or is it merely a figment of his imagination? It is both actors, Baby and Deborah, what is that word? Divisive? Yeah. Divisive about it. Elgert thinks that this is indeed his imagination, while James thinks it indeed happened.
I agreed with the
I
director.
think it happened.
I do not, man. It's a dream.
I like me a good happy ending, so.
See, I'm a pretty...
And like that Italian neo-realism that we learned about yesterday in cinema history, too.
Oh, golly.
So, last bit of trivia I have. Baby is listening to the song Brighton Rock by Queen on his iPod, which foreshadows the event that later occur in the movie. The song is a reference to the story Brighton Rock by Graham Greene, in which character Pinky is a teenager in a gang. Throughout the story, Pinky is trying to cover his tracks of all the murders and the secrets of what have wrapped up in. He falls in love with a girl named Rose, who is a waitress at a diner. At the end of the novel, all the crime has finally caught up to Pinky, and after being chased by the police, he dies. The only person left standing is Rose, our love interest, from the diner. So that song and book could tell us that at the end of the movie, it's actually a dream.
See, I'm telling you, it is a dream. It is. It 100% is a dream. It has to be. It has to be. Life does not have happy endings.
So, on a scale of best movie ever to worst movie ever, of those two, where would you rank this this movie?
Probably best movie
I'm going to say best movie ever.
It's a very good movie.
Nothing else. Best movie ever.
Best movie ever.
Okay, that was Baby Driver. Next week,
Dun.
our teaser is... Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've never seen it. I know nothing. I know...
I wasn't positive if we were going to do that one or not.
Well, you want to do something else?
Oh, no,
I'll
I'm
just
down
a little
to do.
fake out. You want to do the Twilight movies next? All
No,
5 of them?
I am...
I've seen them all. We'll do a triple-double fake out. We'll say we'll put in the thumbnail we're doing Everything Everywhere All at Once. Boom, Twilight.
Oh, I think my COVID's acting up.
Oh, your
actually.
COVID's again.
My COVID's acting up. But no, if you want to do Everything Everywhere, we 100% can. I am big down.
Well, you can do that. All I know about it is Multiversal, and it won so many Oscars. And Kiwi Kwan, I love me some Short Round. So
I love him.
I'll love it.
I love
so
him to death.
you got anything else? for Baby Driver?
I do not. I thought it was a very good movie. Edgar Wright, please keep making movies. It's been a couple years. It's been almost 10 years since your last one. Come on, buddy. That movie came out in 2017. It's 2025.
It is 2025. You can count. See y'all next week.
Yeah,
Y'all take care of
bye.
yourself.
Bye.